As time marches forward and human societies continue to modernize, it is easy to think that all is well with the human condition and that we are entering a brave new world. We have shut out the voice of the Spirit of God that once taught us to love one another and consider life in light of eternity, choosing instead to pursue empty worldly pleasures. The reductionist worldview that gains preeminence in supposedly enlightened societies promises that logic will replace intuition, facts will replace wonder, and materialism will replace God, and we will be the better for it. Yet, if we examine the fruits of this empty promise, we see that, besides some beneficial innovations, materialist society has introduced a myriad of new problems. Our collective disconnection from divinity and implicit atheism has led to the formation of alarming wealth inequalities, skyrocketing crime rates, sickening political corruption, and an increasingly worsening public mental health crisis. Modern societies are breeding grounds for the worst kinds of personality disorders, including narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, all of which are antithetical to the principles of kindness and empathy that are central to fair and ethical societies, the lack of which will eventually lead to societal degradation. What we anticipate becoming a utopia will devolve into a sterile dystopia of forced efficiency in which the human spirit and God are considered antiquated relics of a forgotten past, and people are a means to an end, assigned with numbers instead of names. As French sociologist Julian Freund once lamented, "With the progress of science and technology, man has stopped believing in magic powers, and spirits, and demons. He has lost his sense of prophecy, and, above all, his sense of the sacred. Reality has become dreary, flat, and utilitarian, leaving a great void in the souls of men, which they seek to fill by furious activity and through various devices and substitutes." But before Julian Freund, there was Jesus Christ, who warned us in Matthew 24:12, saying, "And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold." As we look around us today, we can see that the love of many has indeed grown cold. People perceive each other as objects, whether obstacles to be overcome or opportunities to be used, instead of living souls to be appreciated and loved. Instead of helping the poor, we betray our brethren for gain. Instead of uplifting the broken-hearted, we gossip about them behind their backs to disguise our own defects. We lie, cheat, steal, and do anything we can to get ahead in life, because our goal is no longer heartfelt relationships, but profit at all costs. Our medical institutions treat symptoms rather than causes. Our technologies are designed with planned obsolescence. Our governments sacrifice innocent youth in mindless wars. And our churches have become dens of thieves for greedy opportunists. These are the fruits of man's kingdom apart from God. The antidote to the problems created by man's kingdom is the kingdom of heaven, which Christ told us dwells within us. For at the core of our souls is our God-given essence, from which we understand our eternal calling, and through which societal environments can be shaped according to divine will, should we be open conduits for God's Spirit. God's vision for the world is very different from man's, as the former leads to hope and peace, and the latter to deception and decay. For this reason, the Lord is calling us to return to our first love and regain our eternal perspective. We are not meant to conform to the world or become complacent, but to be catalysts for change within it, bringing light into the darkness. Even if we are collectively only a few rays of light in a vast void, we are meant to hold our ground and be a shining beacon for others who seek the light. But to do this effectively, we must look to God, and we must look within, for God has endowed each of us with a heavenly purpose, a hidden treasure we must uncover. We must look into the mirror of eternity to see ourselves as the Lord sees us, and answer our spiritual callings. As we change our perspectives, we begin to see the world as God sees it and value the things God does. For God is love, and He loves men's souls. However, God's love only rests in those with gentle and pure hearts. For this reason, the kinds of souls the world despises, such as the poor and broken-hearted, are ironically the very ones that contain the greatest measures of heavenly wealth in their hearts. It is therefore crucial that we also re-evaluate our priorities and cleanse our hearts of worldliness, attuning ourselves to God's Spirit in order to manifest His will on the earth. If man's kingdom is one defined by selfish pursuits of temporal illusions, God's kingdom is exemplified by life-giving love, hope, faith, service, and eternal purpose. The Lord needs us to step into our callings now more than ever, as modern society's spiritual destitution has created a great thirst for God within people. Though they may not understand their inner yearning or have the words to express it, many individuals sense a deep dissatisfaction with the state of the world. They know that things aren't as they ought to be, and that some unknown element is missing from their lives. Though they seek meaning in materialism, it evades them, as earthly pleasures cannot satisfy a spiritual hunger. These are the kinds of individuals Jesus seeks to reach, because they are ready for answers. They have awakened from their worldly slumber and have begun to see that society has been sterilized of the sacred, and life has been turned into a frivolous chase for things that moth and rust destroy. Like building sandcastles on the ocean shore, they see the futility of amassing large quantities of wealth, only to have the waves of time wash it all away. The Lord is calling us to be a guiding light for such individuals, and to show them that hope is not lost, it can still be found in God. Fortunately, man's headlong decline into darkness will not last forever. As the biblical scriptures foretell, there will come a time when Christ will transform the earth, and the kingdom of God will be established upon it. Jesus did not haphazardly teach His disciples to pray for its coming. He was revealing God's plan. Nevertheless, man will first exhaust himself in his vain pursuit for meaning apart from God, bringing into manifestation all kinds of evils on the earth, and reaping the rewards of his deeds. But as the world departs further into the shadows, we must remain as rays of light in an expansive darkness, for we are the signs over the horizon of the soon rising sun.